textured brushes. Create textured brushes. How to create textured brushes? Textured brush options. A textured brush uses a pattern to make strokes look as if they are painted on a textured canvas, like this image now. We have two images here now. In the left side, brush strokes without texture, and in the right side, and with texture, with and without. In the left side is without texture, and in the right side is with texture. And click the pattern sample, and select a pattern from the pop-up panel, and set one or more of the following options. Invert. What about invert? Invert is meaning inverts the high and low points in the texture based on the tones in the pattern. And when invert is selected, the lightest areas in the pattern are the low points in the texture and therefore receive the last paint, by the way. And the darkest areas in the pattern are the high points in the texture and therefore receive the most paint. And when invert is deselected, the lightest areas in the pattern receive the most paint, by the way, and the darkest areas in the pattern receive the least paint. So what about scale? Scale is meaning that specifies the scale of the pattern and type a number or use the slider to enter a value that is a percentage of the pattern size. And so what's meaning of texture each tab? Texture each tab is meaning applies the selected texture individually to each brush mark in a brush stroke rather than to the brush stroke as a whole. And a brush stroke, by the way, is made up of many brush marks applied continuously as you drag the brush. And you must select this option, by the way, to make the deeps variance options available. So what about mode? Mode is meaning specifies the blending mode used to combine the brush and the pattern. So what's the meaning of deeps? Deeps is meaning that specifies how deeply the paint penetrates into the texture and type a number or use the slider to enter a value at 100%, and the low points in the texture, by the way, don't receive any paint at 0%. All points in the texture receive the same amount of paint, therefore hiding the pattern. So what's the meaning of minimum deeps? Minimum deeps is meaning specifies the minimum deeps to which paint can penetrate when deeps control is set to fade, and pen pressure, pen tilt or stylus wheel and texture each tab is selected. And what's the meaning of deeps jitter and control? Deeps jitter and control is meaning that specifies how the deeps varies when texture each tab is selected to specify the maximum percentage of jitter and enter a value to specify how you want to control the deeps variance to brush marks, and then choose an option from the control pop-up menu. And so what's the meaning of off? Off is the meaning specifies no control over the deeps variance of brush marks, by the way. And what's the meaning of fade? Fade is the meaning fades from the deeps jitter percentage to the minimum deeps percentage in the specified number of steps. And what's the meaning of pen pressure and pen tilt and stylus wheel and rotation? All this function is meaning various the deeps based on the pen pressure and pen tilt position of the pen thumb wheel or rotation of the pen. How to copy? How to copy textures between tools? Copy textures between tools. By the way, when you specify a texture for the current tool, you can copy the textures pattern and scale to all tools, by the way, that support textures. For example, you can copy the current texture pattern and scale for the brush tool to the pencil and clone and stamp and pattern stamp and history brush and art history brush and eraser and dodge and burn and sprung tools. And also choose copy texture to other tools from the brush setting panel menu. So what about dual brushes? Dual brushes is meaning that a dual brush combines two types to create brush marks, and the second brush texture is applied, by the way, within the brush stroke of the primary brush, and only the areas where both brush strokes intersect are printed, and set options for the primary tip in the brush tip shape section of the brush setting panel. And then select a second brush tip from the dual brush section of the brush setting panel and set any of the following options. We have 3 options here now and 3 image. We have A and B and C. In the left side, A is meaning primary brush tip stroke hard round 55, and B is meaning secondary brush tip stroke grass, and C is meaning dual brush stroke using both. So what's the meaning of mode? Mode is meaning that sets a blending mode to use when comparing brush marks from the primary tip and the dual tip. And what's the meaning of demeter? Demeter is meaning controls the size of the dual tip and enter a value in pixels, and then drag the slider or click use sample size to use the original demeter of the brush tip. And the use sample, by the way, the use sample size option is available only if the brush tip shape was created by sampling pixels in an image. And what's the meaning of spacing? Spacing is meaning controls the distance between the dual tip brush marks in a stroke to change the spacing type and number, or use the slider to enter a percentage of the tip diameter. And after that, what's the meaning of scatter? Scatter is meaning specifies how dual tip brush marks are distributed in a stroke. And when both axis is selected, dual tip brush marks are distributed in a radial direction. And when both axis is deselected, dual tip brush marks are distributed actually to the stroke path. And to specify the maximum percentage of scattering, and type a number or use the slider to enter a value. And what's the meaning of count? Count is meaning specifies the number of dual tip brush marks applied at each spacing interval, and type a number or use the slider to enter a value.